Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a long-term review of my Trek Fuel EX. I bought this bike just a little bit over a year ago, and so I did make a video right when I got this bike, but I have a few more thoughts I want to share with you guys, so I definitely wanted to make a review today, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned. Before we get into the review, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on how I got this bike. So it was about April of last year, and I was looking around for a new bike because my Kona Process 130 was just getting too small for me, and I was outgrowing it in my skill level as well. And so this was pretty much the only bike I could get my hands on pretty quickly because a lot of other bikes were out of stock from COVID and everything like that. And it fit the bill of what I was looking for. It was a 140, 130 mil trail bike with 29ers. So that's basically what I was looking for anyway. So I decided just to pick this thing up. Let's get into the review now. So for the review, I'm going to start by just talking about the components they used on this bike, and then I'm going to get into some pros and cons, and then after that I'm just going to get my overall thoughts. The Trek Fuel EX has a pretty standard component build for bikes around that travel and price range, but there's a few things that stand out to me that I really want to get into right now, for the good and the bad, so let's get into those. The first component that I'm really glad they decided to add on this bike was the Fox 36. I love this fork. It makes the bike super stiff up front, and it allows you to be able to ride downhill but also climb. It's a great around fork for pretty much doing anything, and so that's the reason why I think it's a great component choice for this bike build. One thing that I really appreciate on this bike is all of the carbon, and that brings this bike under 29 pounds. It's actually like 28.7 pounds, I believe. It has carbon bars, wheels, and then just the frame as well. And so it makes this bike really playful, light, easy to climb uphill, and that is why I appreciate having carbon so much. I really only have one complaint with the components, and that is the rear shock. I understand that this is a trail bike, but I wish it had like maybe a Fox DPX2 or a RockShox Super Deluxe or something like that, because this shock starts to fade and overheat pretty easily. I haven't blown it out yet, but I feel like if I were to ride it for long enough on a pretty big descent, it might, and you can definitely feel it fading on a longer downhill. So I just wish it had something a little bit more like downhill oriented. My first pro for this bike is that I feel like I can take this thing anywhere, from big bike parks all the way down to the local trail systems. This thing can pretty much do anything. It can crush climbs at the local trail systems, but it can also do a lot of downhill oriented stuff anywhere out up in the mountains. And living in North Carolina, I have a lot of that stuff around me, so there's a big variety of different things to ride, but this bike can definitely tackle anything. My first con is knock block. So it's right up by your headset, and it prevents your fork from going into your frame. So I understand that this is pretty much necessary for this bike because you'd literally destroy your frame if you didn't have it. But this thing creaks so much, it causes your headset to be really unreliable. Like if you're riding downhill or something like that, it literally every single time you push into something, you can literally hear it creaking and cracking and things like that. And so it's a lot of maintenance to keep this thing running. I just wish they made it a little better. I understand that it is necessary though, so this is something that can be improved on in the next few years of this bike. My next pro is how good this thing jumps. For being a 29er trail bike, you wouldn't expect it to be the best at jumping, but this thing is actually really good. It's super playful. You can throw this thing around like crazy. You can hit really steep lips, and it doesn't feel like it's too much, like maybe a big enduro bike or something else would. So that's something I really enjoy because I'm big into jumping, and this bike can definitely do anything in that sort of realm of things. My second con is the price of this bike. So if you were to go with a different brand for the same price at just over $6,000, you may get a little bit of a better build than this bike has, but you're paying for the brand Trek, and they definitely have a lot of really good customer service and everything like that. So that's basically what you're paying for, but it's a little bit steep for what you're getting in the component side of things. But overall, I really do like this bike. It's great for anyone getting into trail riding and really anything. You can take this bike anywhere, like I was saying earlier, and it will basically tackle anything that you want it to. So it's definitely a great option for anybody that wants a new trail bike. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out.